You know, on this road of life, it's kind of like a sailboat. It's smooth sailing to look calm and collective, and then all of a sudden a storm arises, and we're like, what the heck? We have to adjust our sails. We have to adjust to the wind, the waves, everything that we're doing. Think of life as like a sailboat, right? I mean, your smooth sailings is beautiful horizons, beautiful scenery, but that's also scary as heck. And here goes a true story. When I was actually living in Long Beach, I did a California, or excuse me, yeah, it was in California, Long Beach. We went from Long Beach to Catalina Island. That was about 20 miles roughly. And I went on a sea-doo. And, you know, being young and collect and not young and super strong and arrogant, I was thinking, oh, I could do this, and I didn't even think to check the fuel gauge. Well, sure enough, what happens? I go out there, and good, and it was like 12-foot swells. It was like, oh man, it was a great workout. I would look down, I was like, oh man, I'm going up. I had my other friends on the boat that we were going through, me and a buddy, VR, which his name was Vic, which is really cool. It was his sailboat, so I knew they were taken care of because I couldn't afford jet skis back then. So coming back, we didn't even think to top it off. Well, what happens? Sure enough, I run out of fuel. I was in the middle of the ocean, sitting like prey. And you know, when you're out in the middle of the ocean, your mind does wondrous tricks to you and scares the shit out of you. I was cursed from the movie of Jaws. I hope you guys seen that. You guys can relate. I was being cocky and confident, feet were out, like all these sea-doos, jet skis were awesome. Next thing you know, my feet were inside, and I'm sitting in here. I was like, dude, go find help. I looked at the horizon. I could not see shore. I could not see where I was at. 10 miles, and then just hearing the splash. The good thing is this tide, the ocean was settled. It wasn't like choppy or anything. It was nice and calm and collective. But man, he went out. Long story short, he went out, found somebody. We ended up getting some gas on his vehicle because he was just as low as we were, and these preparations. But man, talk about like a sailboat. Wish I was above water a little bit more on my little jet skis. And the funny thing is a week later, I was watching on the Discovery Channel, and it said that was one of the great channels from Long Beach to Catalina Island, that the Great Whites channel or travel through that. They don't stay in there, but man, if I would have watched that, I would have probably scared the crap out of myself. So, long story short, if you're going on a jet ski or a sailboat or a motorboat, make sure you have fuel and enjoy these seasons in the sail, and set your sails up high and know that it's going to be good times, treacherous times, and you can persevere and endure through it. I'm still here. Boy, oh boy, was that 25 years later? I've learned a lot to double check now. So lesson learned.